What's up, you beautiful collectors and Transformer fans? Once again, it's the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, thanks to all of the absolutely incredible support of my Optibotimus Plus channel members, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Legacy Deluxe Class Autobot Skids. And truthfully, this was one that I really didn't intend on getting. But I was going through my local Walmart today, checking out, of course, the toy aisle, which, for the most part, is barren. But I stumbled across this guy, and seeing how there's not a lot of Transformers that are out, and I haven't been able to give you guys a lot of Transformer reviews, I figured I would pick this guy up and hopefully give you guys something entertaining. For the package, much like all these new Legacy ones, you have this really nice box with gorgeous art, gorgeous colors all the way around, and you have a completely open... I do not like that at all. To me, that just screams cheap. And these figures are like $22 to $25, and you can sit there and play with them. I'm like, I could rip that off right now if I wanted to. I mean, if you're gonna go the route of getting rid of the plastic, you got a hanging tag here. I mean, I get it. I'm all about the environment. So eliminate the plastic and just completely have that closed off like a full-on box, and then increase the art that we have on it. I'd be perfectly okay with that. It's just, I just don't like it. Of course, you got the Transformers text with the Generation logo. Like I said, the art is gorgeous. Come around on the back, you can see that he transforms in only 14 steps. Then you got images of him in his vehicle as well as his robot mode. You can scan that little code right there, which brings up his bio, which again is not really all that extensive. You could have completely left that entire thing off and put the bio right there, so that seems kind of pointless. In general, I'm really feeling like the packaging for the Legacy line has taken a step back. But for the box on this guy, that is about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. And here we have Skids opened up and out of his packaging. And while initially I said that I had no interest in this figure, because I had no real interest in the character, I am happy to say that the toy has turned out very nicely. Now, as for the character, Skids never really got any attention in the original G1 cartoon. I believe it's listed that he only appeared in 2 episodes and had 2 lines. Both of those lines being voiced by different voice actors. But he did get some actual attention in the original comic book series, which for me I never got into. While I was a big fan of comic books in the kind of late 80s and 90s, I really never got into the Transformers comics, which is where my kind of detachment for this character mostly comes from. Many of you know that I am a huge cartoon fan, and that's where most of my kind of connection to these characters comes from. So it's understandable that I was never really going to develop one for old Skids here. But he has gotten a very big following after that, so we can see where a lot of people were excited about this guy. Now, for his accessories, he does come with 3 of them. You got one here that I'm going to split this up. It separates and connects in 2 different parts. So you have this, that's really tight. There we go. You can see he does have this handle section right here, so you can have him holding this double-barreled weapon. I want to say that this is very reminiscent of his original G1 toy. You can see really nice silver paint on there. You also have that going on here with this. And then as you can see, you have a little hole section here that you can bring this around, and the handle here is very long, so you can connect that like so. And then the handle here actually can still be held in his robot mode hand. You also do get this, which can serve as also like a gun with a weird axe thing on here. You can see it's done in a translucent plastic, but also has a handle here, so you can use that as an axe, which that's cool. You can also utilize this in vehicle mode. Now this, because of this thing right here, you kind of, you can put it there where that's going to be pushing on the window. It works a little bit better if you actually rotate this around to the back, but then you're just driving around with a mohawk. There you go. And then you can also then take this, fight with this again to detach it. There you go, pull that out like that. And then you got some holes here on the side that you can plug that in just like that. Plug that one in on that side. And you can have some weapons there if you really want to, or they even show, and I just keep detaching and then reattaching this, just because I'm a glutton for punishment. Get that straight. And you can take this, and then you can actually take this and plug this on here, kind of fitting that little piece here in front of the nose section. Again, just kind of keep that as straight as possible while that's kind of just moving around. And then you can take this, and then you can plug that on there. That's also one of the configurations, but you can see when you move it around, it does have a tendency to, because this all is individually attached, moving it is kind of problematic, because you move one part and everything then moves. So you can put that on there, and you can have a giant mohawk weapon. Sure, if you really wanted to. You can also leave that on there. I wonder if you can do this, because the front section here has some holes, so that doesn't really fit in there. Although I guess you can plug it in there, but like you got this giant hole right here. So there's those. Really nice. Happy with those. Vehicle mode wise looks really cool. Again, very, very similar to his G1 self. That's one thing that I really do like about it. Despite the fact that I don't know anything about the character, I really do appreciate the ability that they've been kind of using to recreate those G1 vehicles and characters and such with modern technology, modern paint, modern articulation, all that stuff, to create really cool updated looks for the figures. I mean, the best way I can describe it is like, this is what we would have wanted as a kid. It really does nicely resemble sort of how he looked in the show, you know, if he appeared in the show more, with all that cool stuff with playability and everything that we enjoy today. You see, he is I don't even know, some kind of like a little Scion almost looking thing, but great paint. The blue looks really nice. You have a little moonroof thing going on here. Translucent window that does kind of show the intersection, but you do have a little bit of a kibble on the inside there, so it's not a clear see-through thing, but you can kind of sort of see through it. Gorgeous Autobot logo there in the front. Really nice silver and yellow highlights here in the front with the little section right down there. You can even see like molded in grill detailing. I mean, that's really kind of cool. You got that gorgeous silver with the stripe of red going down the side as well. Come around to the back. It is pretty generic. It is molded in the solid color that you would expect, with a lot of great detail put in there, but there's no paint applications really to kind of pull it out. So it does kind of limit some of the stuff. Come around to the bottom, you don't really see much of anything other than his head right there. But in general, I mean, the vehicle looks good. He rolls decently. Really fun. Like I said, I don't know anything about the character, but I really do like the toy. Transformation on him is very simple. I think it's at 14 steps. You're lucky if it's that. You're going to open up these doors first off, and then kind of wiggle this back piece from the roof itself, and then take these, and these are going to fold out like that. When you do that, that's going to bring the back leg section here separated from the back of the car. And then take this, kind of straighten that out just like so. Take these arms, you're going to fold these up, get that out of the way just like that, kind of hinge this all the way down. And you can see there's a couple different hinge sections here. So let me pull this back up. So you had it hinged up like that. You want to bring it down. That locks into place. And then at the hip, rotate that back. That's kind of a fun new little spin on doing things. I'm going to take these, bring these up, split that. Take the feet section. Now you can take this and fold this down. But, I mean, that's the official transformation. But it does kind of leave a little bit of a ugly gap thing right there. I almost kind of like leaving the tire out there just to kind of fill that in. It doesn't really affect anything for the purposes of the review. I'll just kind of put it like that. But I do honestly think that it looks a little bit better with the tire there. That's just personal preference, I would say. Go ahead and kind of angle these, and then these are going to swivel out like so. You can then take this piece here, rotate this down. That will lock down into place. Rotate the arms there. I'm going to bring that all the way up. Bring that down, and then rotate him here at the bicep. Do that on this side as well. Rotate that around. Bring that down. Rotate that. Kind of play with that. Then take this, kind of angle these. This section here, you want to compress that down against the back and just kind of flare those out. Kind of getting them back like that. And then when you're done, there you have Skids in his robot mode. And again, despite the fact that I don't know anything about this character, the toy itself is really, very, very nice. As you can see, he does have a very G1 aesthetic, whether you look at it from the perspective of the cartoon or even the comic books. Weapon-wise, you can see I do have him holding this as if it was an axe. I kind of like that a little bit more. You can use this little nub there and plug that into his hand. Again, get that in there. And you can have another gun, but with this little bit that hangs down here, it kind of looks a little bit weird, in my opinion. And then this guy right here. Now, I want to say that I vaguely remember that the original toy, and I'm sure somebody's going to correct me with it, but these, you got little holes right here, so it's like this can like wrap around here. I want to say that that's kind of how like the original G1 toy was, where his weapon could kind of be plugged into his actual forearms, and you could do that, and then you can take this. I think this is kind of cool, honestly. You can do something like that. I mean, that looks really neat, I think. But you have different options with it, which is perfect. I love options. Options are always great, getting that out of there. But you can see he does have a very blocky G1 sort of style to it. Great head sculpt. You can see that you got some nice blue paint there for the eyes. I love how they have the little back section right here, which is attached, so it doesn't limit the articulation. That little panel rotates around with his head, which I think is really very fun. Of course, now you get the translucent windows with no obstruction, which looks good. Overall, I mean, the colors on this guy, really solid. Everything on here is a really very well done figure. I really, like I said, just basing it on the merits of the toy, I think look really good. Now, again, like I said, personally, I mean, that looks a little bit better, I think. It doesn't affect anything when you have him stand there or anything like that. It just kind of creates a big giant hole of sorts there. So I'm going to probably leave it like that, personal preference-wise, you know. But size-wise, he is a deluxe size figure. So let's see, which deluxes do I have here? Let's bring in another legacy one. This is obviously from the Prime universe, but here is RC, so you can kind of see scale-wise, she's definitely way too big. Here's a Bumblebee, another deluxe figure. He's tiny. Just kind of going through a whole bunch of deluxe figures that I have standing here, so you can kind of get an idea of things. And then let's bring in one of my little favorite guys here is Bronny. So you can see that as a deluxe figure, he's actually a pretty good size, but really does kind of focus on that G1 blockiness. First articulation, as you can see, the head is on a ball joint, so you do get left and right, a little bit of up and down and everything. That does obviously get a little bit limited because of what's going on here with the peg, but I mean, you're perfectly fine. Now, the shoulders here I do have a little bit of an issue with. You can see that is a very thin piece that, when you rotate it around, it's thicker, but this is tight, and you can see there's a tightness to it that kind of makes me feel like the plastic is slightly getting pulled when you're rotating it. I'm not a big fan of that. So I wish that was a little bit done differently, I suppose. You do have these shoulder bits that move up and down. You got two shoulder joints, really, so lots of range of motion with it. I just don't like that rotation right there. He does have a swivel at the upper part of the bicep. Does have a 90-degree bend here at the elbow. He does have wrist rotation, which is interesting to see on a deluxe figure. That's kind of nice. Come down here to the waist. Does rotate there. The hips do move forward and back. In and out, they rotate at the upper part of the thigh. You do have a bend at the knee. The ankles are locked in the forward and back, but you can angle those out. So you can get some good poses with this guy. And, I mean, I'm not going to be able to pose him very well because you guys know I suck at that posing thing. But, hey, that's kind of cool. Yay for bad Optibotimus posing techniques. But in general, like I said, really a great-looking figure. I think all the way around, the back cleans up nicely. He for sure has that G1 style, which I just wish he was in the actual cartoon a little bit more. Now, for his transformation, we're just going to kind of get all this stuff out of the way. We're going to rotate all these around, bring that around where the forearms are going to be there. So it's going to sound like that. Go ahead and pull this away and separate this piece. That's going to rotate that all the way down. And then we're going to spin these arms around thusly, and then these can kind of get that straight. That kind of moves around, and then you can bring that in like that. Then this is going to swivel down. Oh wait, no, you want to rotate that. Wait, which way was it? I think it's like that. Bring that in, rotate that, and swivel this. Bring this piece down, and then hinge this piece back, just like that, kind of straightening that. That's going to go over right there. These little front panels, open that, connect these little doodads, and then hinge this down. That's actually, yeah, that's, sorry, I had that the wrong way. I did have that the wrong way, so apologies to my friends. Then bring this up, kind of squeeze everything there, and kind of fit the door in there. And actually, no, I still have that in the wrong spot. That's gonna go like that. If I paid more attention, I would do it right, but I didn't, so I'm sorry. Keep those rotating around. There we go, like that. There, something like that. And squeeze everything. Literally, then you just kind of sandwich everything together, click it all down, click it all down, click it all down, and when you're done, let's see, do I have that? Let me make sure I have that. That's not. There we go. Wait, there we go. There we go. Squeeze everything. But when you're done, there you have Skids back in his truck van mode thing. I guess if you had him like that, you would also go like that. So there you go. That's him. Overall, though, a really fun toy. Vehicle mode wise, obviously cleans up very nicely. The only part that I really wish was done differently would be the back section. You have all this great molded in detail. I would love some extra paint applications kind of thrown in there. Transformation is very simple when you get the arms position right, which I obviously could not do, but it is a fairly simple transformation and results in a robot mode that looks really very good. Even though I don't know anything about the character, I am happy that I picked this toy up. He really does remind me of that, what was it? The Thrilling 30 Deluxe Class Armada Starscream, where I never really watched Armada, but the toy was really well done. That's definitely the case with this guy. So, even if you aren't a fan of the character, I think that as a toy, he is outstanding, and if you are a fan of the character, this is definitely one that I would recommend picking up. They did a great job with this guy. So, all of that being said, if the new Transformers Legacy Deluxe Class Skids is a figure that you would like to add to your collection, he is hitting various retail locations right now. So if you are looking for him, good luck and happy hunting. Or as always, you can do the real easy thing and just go online to places like Big Bad Toy Store or Amazon. For both of those places, I'll put links right down there in the video description, where you can head on over there and check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the wide range of Transformer figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. I want to thank you all for tuning in, and as always, please remember that the real trouble with the world is that too many people grow up. Again, thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.